Hello and welcome to Planet 40k. Today we're going to be doing another Necron review. This one's based on the TRIARCH STALKER. So this is the nearest thing Necrons get to a dreadnought, a spider-like walker with its dedicated driver at the wheel. So the Stalker is an elite option that has the vehicle keyword along with being a dynastic agent, which doesn't allow it to benefit from any dynasty code abilities. It also doesn't interfere with your detachments. Then it comes with the TRIARCH keyword too. So it comes in at 7 power or 135 points. There's a few weapon upgrades that increase the price, which we'll go over later in the video. So when it's at full wounds, his stat lines are as follows: movement 10 inch, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 7, toughness 6, wounds 12, attacks 3, leadership 10 and a 3+ save. When it drops below 6 wounds, its movement decreases by 2 inch, and the weapon skill and ballistic skill both go down by 1-2. And then when it drops to 3 wounds or less, the same happens with the movement, weapon skill and ballistic skill again. So the Stalker comes with living metal, regaining a wound at the start of the turn, and as it starts on 12 wounds, it'll be quite a tough unit to shift. Command protocols, which gives it a pre-planned army-wide buff each battle round, so long as it's within 6 inches of a character unit. It's got the new quantum shielding, which is pretty good as it applies a 5+ invuln save, and also any unmodified wound rolls of a 1, 2 or 3 do not wound him, thus making those high strength weapons effectively turning into strength 6 at best. He can explode when destroyed, and if this happens, roll a d6, and on a 6, everyone within 6 suffers d3 mortal wounds. Then finally, the ability you're actually bringing the Stalker for, targeting relays. So this one's pretty nice. So each time the Stalker makes a ranged attack against an enemy unit and hits with the weapon, all friendly Necron units that fire against that same target will be able to reroll ones to hit. This ability isn't dynasty specific, so you could carry multiple dynasties within your force, and all those dynasties will benefit from the rule within the same game. So this is mega, and I'll go over why in the tactics sections of this video. So we come stock with a heat ray and the Stalker's forelimbs. So firstly, let's talk about the heat ray. This will cost you 5 points. And the weapon has 2 profiles which you select before shooting. So profile 1 is dispersed, which is a 12 inch heavy 2d6, strength 5, -1 AP and single damage, and this auto hits. So it's pretty much a twin heavy flamer, so this is really good for large units of infantry models. The strength 5 should make sure you're wounded on 3s or 4s at worst, and then the -1 AP is a nice bonus to a solid weapon. It's also good defensively if your Stalker gets charged. Pop the 1 CP for the overwatch and auto hit to burn things away. The second part of the profile is the focus beam, which is a 24 inch heavy 2, strength 8 -4 AP and d6 damage. And each time you fire this weapon within half range, the damage becomes d6 +2. So this is basically a multi-melter. But it has that magic strength 8, which not only doubles up on standard toughness 4 infantry, wounding them on 2s, but is also stronger than an average vehicle toughness, which is usually a 7, so needing 3s to wound those. 2 shots mean you might miss one of them on average, but even a single shot can do a bit of damage, especially at half range. Now before I get into the weapon upgrades, I just wanted to remind you about its targeting relay abilities, which only needs to score 1 single hit to enable the army-wide rerolls of 1s to hit. Now with that heat ray, you can fire at a max range of 24 inch, which sometimes isn't good enough, and you're not guaranteed to hit either. The flamer part of the weapon is guaranteed, but you need to be within 12 inches to do that, so think carefully before opting for this weapon. Now armed with this knowledge, let's check out those options. So firstly, there's the particle shredder, which actually doesn't cost any points, so you're saving 5 points right there. It's also 24 inch, but it's heavy 8, strength 6, -1 AP and 2 damage. So to be honest, it's an okay weapon. It's got 8 shots hitting on 3s, should net you approximately 5 hits. So instantly you pretty much guaranteed your targeting relay ability there. Versus toughness 3 models, you'll be on average getting 4 or 5 wounds. Versus toughness 4 and 5 models, you're going to be getting on average 3 or 4 wounds. Then versus toughness 6 models, you'll score about 2 or 3 wounds on average there. Then to toughness 7 right up to toughness 11, you'll average 1 or 2. Each one of them being -1 AP and 2 damage, so you want to be firing these at enemy infantry models. Anything up to toughness 5, it's going to be effective. And if they are toughness 3 like Elder, then it's really nice. Now the -1 AP is just a bonus, but this takes a standard marine to a 4+ save, so it will result in them saving half the wounds there. But more importantly, you've got your targeting relay going. The damage too is nice against those meta marines, but you need to be getting past the armor saves for this. So if that doesn't float your boat, then you can opt for the twin heavy Gauss cannon at 15 points. So this is a 30-inch range weapon that is heavy 6, strength 7, minus 3 AP and D3 damage. Now this is what I prefer. I mean 30-inch means that you can be using this from turn 1 to get your target and melee going. And with 6 shots, you're likely to be hitting 4 of them with ballistic skill 3. Again, almost guaranteeing your ability goes off. Strength 7 now starts to not only hurt infantry but also vehicles and monsters too, and the minus 3 AP is perfect as it removes any reliable save that anything has. The D3 damage makes it a marine killer as well. So quick maths for this weapon then, 6 shots hitting on 3s is going to net you approximately 4 hits on average. Burst toughness 3 you'll wound on 2s, so you'll get about 3 or 4 wounds off there. Burst toughness 4 right up to toughness 6 you'll need 3s to wound, getting about 2 or 3 wounds there. Burst toughness 7 you're going to need 4, so about 2 wounds on average there. Then against toughness 8 right up to 13 you're going to need 5, so approximately 1 wound, maybe if you're lucky 2. So you're dealing roughly the same sort of wounds as the particle shredder gave, give or take a wound or 2, but now you're piercing through armor with that minus 3 AP. Not leaving much of a save at all. And then D3 damage. The most important part of this weapon is the range itself being at 30-inch, allowing you to get that targeting relay going early. In terms of melee, it's got the Stalker's forelimbs, which are strength 7, minus 2 AP and a flat 3 damage. With 3 attacks base, it's not bad, it can defend itself if needed. With 3 attacks and weapon skill 3, on average you're going to hit 2 of those. And most likely be wounded on 3s to clear off a few models. But it can do a bit of damage to an enemy vehicle as it's a flat 3 damage a pop. And it can still shoot its heavy weapons into combat even though it'd be a minus 1 to hit. So yeah, I'd favour the Gauss cannon, which is probably why it's the most expensive option here, I guess. Looking into a bit of synergy within the Codex, starting with any stratagems that may be of use. So we've got the Judgment of the Triarch for 1 CP. This is for models with the Triarch keywords. So the Stalker will have this obviously. So when selected to shoot or fight, you can add 1 to the hit roll. So an undamaged Stalker can be hitting on 2s. Speaking of a damaged vehicle, for 1 CP you can use Stellar Alignment Protocol, which allows you to use the best tier for your vehicle damage table for the purpose of using the stat line. So as we mentioned in the intro, the movement, weapon skill and ballistic skill degrades each tier that the vehicle is damaged. So for 1 CP you can act like it's undamaged for the turn for the purposes of stats. Curse of the Pharaon for 1 CP lets you auto explode your Stalker when it's destroyed, rather than rolling a 6 for it to happen. Pretty good when you're surrounded by enemies, just to throw a bunch of D3 mortal wounds out at everyone. Quantum Deflection for 1 CP turns your 5-up invuln save into a 4-up invuln save, so really good for your resiliency there, especially when you're sat on an objective. And then finally, Solar Pulse for 1 CP turns off any benefits of cover for a selected enemy unit. Looking at unit synergy then, well, anything with a gun of course will get to reroll 1s against that tagged target for the relay. So warriors with an overlord and their mind will be done rule, they'll be hitting on 2s and re-rolling 1s, which is insane, especially if they're carrying those Gauss Reapers at a strength 5, assault 2 and minus 2 AP. You could redeploy 1 unit of 20 warriors and an overlord into reserves using the Deceiver's Grand Illusion. Jump out at turn 2 for 40 shots that aren't missing much. Then deep strike the Deceiver into the mix too. Your opponent won't know what to deal with first. The insane amount of firepower from the warriors backed up by an overlord with an orb. Or that crazy Catan shard that's throwing out mortal wounds for fun. So it's a really good combo there. Immortals have a similar effect at a better range of 30 inches with the Gauss Blasters if you didn't want to use reserves. Although the max unit size there is 10. So many other units benefit from this. I mean, Death Marks with their disintegrators that will be hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Your big heavy stuff will love it too. Things like the Doomsday Arcs, the Doomstalkers with the Doomsday Cannons and Blasters. Then you've got your Locust Destroyers joining the party with all that good stuff too. Don't forget the Flyers have the guns as well, so there's so many options here to be synergizing with your Triarch Stalker. So overall, for a unit that has no synergy with the dynastic codes, it's actually got an incredible amount of synergy when it comes to assisting the rest of the ranged units within the Codex. And it isn't just a buffing unit, it can pack a punch too. Obviously not compared to one of the heavy support options, but that's just it. It's not a heavy support option, it's an elite option. So let your Doomsday Arc do all the heavy lifting. It's also very resilient with 12 wounds and a 3+ save with a 5-up invuln save, then add quantum shielding on top to protect it from the high strength weapons that usually give out those d6 damages in their stat lines. And living metal of course. So sitting them on an objective and then just firing the Gauss cannon is more than enough for me. he's scoring points, he's aiding the team, and like I said, it can defend itself if required, unlike a Doomsday Ark or the Annihilation Barge which you did in a review last week. So overall I'm going to be giving the TRIARCH STALKER a Planet 40k rating of 4 out of 5. Now, due to the fact that us Necron players have so many options nowadays within the book, it makes the Stalker not an auto-include, unless you're playing a larger game of course, as fitting him into a standard game such as like 1,000 points or so is quite a tricky task once you're getting all the HQs and warriors in, but if you do use him you're not going to regret it. I mean, I've recently brought one of these myself and I'm going to be starting to field this once the UK lockdown's done with, so I can't wait for that. Anyway guys, if you've enjoyed the video and you're enjoying the channel, please hit that subscribe button below and smash the like button. We've changed the rate of content being released from every 2 days to every weekday, Monday to Friday. So there's plenty more content to get through, and if your friends are playing other factions, feel free to share the Planet 40k name, as we're going to be diving into other factions. We've already begun with the Death Watch and the Space Wolves are coming up now, and very shortly it's going to be the Death Guard and the Blood Angels too. There's even rumours of January releases of some Xeno races being released, possibly Drukhari, along with the release of maybe Dark Angels, so get your friends on board if they play any of those. So thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next one.